Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hello, Drew. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Let me turn you up so I can hear you properly. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, very well. And I saw Ismael on a little while ago. He's just nipped off. I'm sure he'll be back any moment now.
Hi.
There he is.
How you
Hello,
doing?
Ismael. How you doing?
Just writing, working, going to expos, conferences, and speaking. That's it. That's all I do nowadays is just travel, write, and speak.
Is your next one in November, Ismael?
Yes, I'm going to be doing a 3-hour workshop in Sedona. I'm going to be breaking down the entire cosmic infrastructure and how it kind of ties into the battle between the Alliance and the Cabal, but in great detail.
I think where we should start today, because there's a lot of talk about a ship coming our way.
3i Atlas. I had a feeling you guys wanted me to talk about that.
Go on. I'm handing you the mic.
Sure. Are we live already?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
You're live with everybody,
Rocking and
Ismael.
rolling.
Hi, everyone. It's good to be back. Well, contrary to what some of the podcasters are saying, that it is the Anunnaki, that it is, negative ETs that are here to invade us. It's actually the other way around. Because if that were the case, we do have an interplanetary police force that actually patrols what comes in and out of our solar system. So anything negative is therefore shunned out by Solar Warden, which is a positive secret space program that was initiated by Eisenhower and Commander Valiant Thor, who represents the Venusian Council and the United Federation of Planets. Now, 3i Atlas was actually projected from the center of our galaxy. There's a planet there where the guardians of our galaxy reside, known as Aurelius Prime, and that is the planet that actually launched it. And coincidentally, or may I not say coincidentally, but the WOW signal that came in 1977, which again was projected from the center of the galaxy, coincides with the exact trajectory of 3i Atlas. It came from the galactic epicenter. So, as you know, right now NASA is not showing any images, is not allowing any new data to come through. However, the other space agencies, such as the one working for Russia and the space agency for China, as well as India, are all saying that this is not a comet. This is an interstellar mothership that is housing all kinds of extraterrestrials. And that's the reason why NASA is lying to us right now. And as you know, NASA is controlled by the deep state. They've always been. It was initiated by the Nazis through Project Paperclip, right? Werner von Braun. And so that's why NASA is not telling us the truth, because this 3i Atlas is here because of what's happening right now. And what's happening right now is that the quarantine of the Earth, which was initiated thousands of years ago, has finally been lifted. And so one of the things that the secret scientist that works with the secret space program, who are a part of the Advanced Contact of Intelligent Organization, one of the things that they were able to decode using advanced AI and resonance frequencies, when they received the WOW signal back in 1977, that was a warning from the Guardians that, again, exists within the center of our galaxy. And that warning was, you guys have about 48 years, 50 years exactly, to run your shenanigans, and then we will return and enforce the disclosure, enforce it. And that's what they said in the WOW signal. And that's the reason why they have not been telling us the truth about 3i Atlas. And there is ample evidence coming from other space agencies that 3i Atlas is, once you are able to penetrate beyond its shield, and they have, by the way, it was able to uncloak itself as it was approaching the proximity of Mars. There's a lot of vast interstellar structures, crystalline cities that are actually that have been found within 3i Atlas. And they don't want us to know that. So 3i Atlas is a benevolent craft. It was actually sent by the Lyrans, who were the original progenitors of all human races within our universe. And they are working in collaboration with other benevolent ET races like the Andromedans, like the Arcturians, and so on and so forth. It is a collaboration of over 200,000 different star nations that are actually on board. That's why it's a huge mothercraft the size of New York City. And it is here to actually transmit some what is known as light codes to the star seeds. And the star seeds, of course, are the advanced souls that have incarnated in human form. And that's why it's scheduled to be in perihelion, which is in close proximity to our sun by the end of this month. And the reason it's going to be in close proximity of our sun is because through the CMEs, our sun is going to be transmitting these light codes that are going to be coming from 3i Atlas in order to begin the activation of the dormant DNA for those that are ready. So this is it, man. Disclosure. The governments, they knew that the governments were never going to do it. So they are going to make sure that the disclosure actually takes place. And I don't know if you guys heard, but in the last congressional hearing, when it came to the UAPs and the aerial phenomena, the ETs actually gave the U.S. Congress only 180 days. So what's going to be happening now is what they are going to be transmitting in the next few weeks for those that are ready, and what they are actually working, their operations from behind the scenes with the Alliance. And let me just tell you, the 12 generals that are operating the Alliance, as you know, Trump is just a puppet figure for the Alliance as well as Putin, right? They're already in cahoots with 3i Atlas to actually bring full disclosure within 180 days. So this is going to actually roll into 2026. And it is believed that by sometime summer of 2026, there is going to be a full out disclosure. And that's why 3i Atlas is here, because of the fact that the quarantine of the Earth has been lifted. Now, the quarantine of the Earth was established long ago when the draconian Anunnaki took over the affairs of our world. And as you guys know, they've been running the show for the last few thousand years, right? The Anunnaki from behind the scenes. And one of their major strongholds is they do operate underneath Israel. So Netanyahu is actually working with the negative Anunnaki. He's evil, by the way. He's a Zionist, Khazarian, and they're all part of the human reptilian hybrid bloodlines. And so another reason why 3i Atlas is here is to neutralize and to collapse the power structure of the Anunnaki, which resides underneath Israel. And that's why Q said Israel will be last. Once Netanyahu is removed, then we know for sure that our entire planet will be liberated. So we have a lot of great things to be looking forward to as a result of this interstellar visitor that is here, because of the fact that the Earth's quarantine was lifted after 10,000 years of being isolated from the entire galactic community. So they are now preparing, you could say, and they are working with members of Solar Warden, the 24 Jedi admirals who have also returned from their long excursion of being out in other solar systems. And they're also working with the 12 generals of the Earth Alliance, which is what we call the YHADs, to make sure that we have a full disclosure and that they don't drip drop the disclosure for another or delay it for another 50 to 100 years, which is what the military industrial complex wanted to do. So they're ready to give us the full disclosure so that by no later than 2027, the Earth is once again part of some sort of an interstellar community and reaccepted back to the galactic community. So that's what's happening right now from behind the scenes.
So let's go back to the date where you said 2026. Mm-hmm. In your opinion, could the date be the 4th of July? Because it's a very big date next year. And
mm-hmm.
if this is happening, I want to talk about meditation and prayer, but first of all, do you think the date would be July the 4th because it's a 250th quintillion, big event that's happening? Possibly.
Very, very, very possible, because as of the last congressional hearing regarding the UAPs, the governments or the alliance was actually given only 180 days. So yeah, 180 days, when you think about it, and based on the intel that I've been receiving from the Galactic Alliance, is that by summer of 2026, the surface people of the Earth, and it's funny that they say the surface people, right? Because you have the private sector, and then you have all these advanced under or inner Earth societies and underwater bases. But they said that the surface people of the Earth will now be informed about the healing modalities, the anti-gravity aircraft, and everything that the government has been, hiding from us for the last 80 years in the private sector. So they said that summer, I would say, yeah, summer looks like of 2026 looks to me like that's going to be around the time that, it's going to be ushering a whole new era on the Earth as we go into a Star Trek society.
So not only with the disclosure, but with the fact that obviously they're here to help us go through 5D and 6D. Am I correct in that?
Well, we're going into 4D and 5D, and some of us are going into 6D. See, before the Draconian Anunnaki took over the affairs of the Earth during Atlantean times, they actually dropped the Earth's frequency from 4, 5, and 6D, which is where the Atlantean civilization was operating at, all the way down to 1, 2, and 3D. So what's happening right now is as the Earth becomes liberated, the Earth is going to be fully restored into the 4D, 5D, and 6D, but not everyone's going to be in the same density. You have to understand that, some of the younger souls on this planet have to ascend in increments. So the majority of the people that are generally good are going to be advancing to the 4th Earth, where we're going to have all these exotic advanced interstellar technologies. And then those that are advanced souls that took the call to volunteer are going to be advancing to the 5th Earth and to the 6th Earth, where they won't be needing any external technology. They're going to be using their own organic technology through the power of their light body. And that's what's happening right now as our dormant DNA does become activated. Now, I was informed that there was going to be 3 waves of ascension because not everyone is on the same frequency. So for those that are ready, we might witness the emergence of the next stage of human evolution by the end of this year. And again, a lot of that has to do with these light codes that are going to be transmitted through our sun by 3i Atlas in order to activate those that are ready. And one of the things to look out for those that are going to be part of the first wave of ascension is our telepathy is going to be coming back online. Our telekinesis is going to be coming back on. Our ability to heal instantaneously and other abilities. So yeah, we're going to have these superhuman abilities for those that are part of the first wave. And then, of course, there's the second wave is supposed to happen sometime in the spring of 2026, all in preparation for full disclosure, perhaps by July 4th, 2026.
Now, okay. With I want to talk about meditation and prayer, because we can help the shift ourselves if we collectively meditate and prayer at the same time. Sorry.
Yes.
Bless his little heart, Drew. It's always nice to see your little one appear once in a while, and all he wants is a few shapes.
Sorry, guys, he's so distracting. So basically, what the idea is, and the insiders know this idea is that from now till July the 4th, because it's such a special time, energy-wise, if we get everybody together, including yourself, I don't know if you pray, meditate, or what you do with... yeah, so I was going to get people on live, but also recordings, and 24/7 loop it, so we could raise the vibration. Do you think that would work, considering I've heard that when we listen to frequency music, if we're playing it out of a smart telly or our PC, it's not as effective as playing it on a record player, let's say. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, there is power in group prayer and in group meditation, and this is something that the Cabal has used against us for millennium. the power of the collective. They know how it works. So you're absolutely right, Drew. If we could get a bunch of people praying and meditating and focusing on the liberation of the earth, focusing on the golden age, the healing of the planet, I could definitely, it will have some sort of a positive effect for the collective, because we are approaching what they call critical mass. And once we hit 10% of people that are fully awakened, that's going to cause a natural tilt for the rest of the planet to be finally deprogrammed, or at least snapping out of their hypnosis. You know what I mean? That's going to cause a natural awakening for the rest of humanity. So there is power in the collective.
Ismael, I am going to jump in here, Drew. I hope you don't mind, because the questions are stacking up, and if we don't chew through some of these, it's just going to be overwhelming later on. Right, first one. Ismael, this is from Ron Starr. Have you got any updates on the solar flash?
Like I mentioned, there's going to be 3 types of activations, because not everyone is ready to activate. So it is believed that it is on schedule. That's what's going to be initiating what we call the first stages of the golden age. We have to understand that everything has to operate according to cycles. So right now, we are ending many, many cycles beyond the 2,160-year cycle as we go from Pisces into Aquarius. We're also ending a 5,000-year cycle and a 25,000-year cycle. And so as all these cycles come into culmination, many believe it could be by the end of this year, which actually corresponds when 3i Atlas will be in its closest proximity to the Earth, technically December 21st. And if you do the actual comparison to the real ending of the Mayan calendar, which again, it's aligned according to the natural timekeeping cycles of the universe. We have been operating under the wrong calendar called the Gregorian calendar, which is about 14 to 15 years apart. So in terms of the Mayan calendar actually ends this year. And not to mention, there will be some sort of a planetary alignment that's going to also be taking effect on the 21st of December. So I'm not saying it's going to be for sure, but it looks like all things are gearing towards some sort of a huge shift by the 21st of December, which is the end of the year.
Wow, fantastic. And I've just got another question off the back in that. I lost my words then. Off the back of that, you just said the Mayan calendar ends this year. What were the Mayans supposed to do then? Because if their calendar finishes, what were they going to do past this point? Or were they expecting the world to end?
No, they called it the ending of the 4th age and the beginning of the fifth age. So apparently these cycles have occurred in times in the past, in immemorial cycles, where civilizations apparently reached a very high peak in technological and cultural development, and then they underwent some sort of a cataclysm. But the times are different now. The times are different now, where this idea of a major catastrophe has actually been neutralized by the Galactic Alliance. It's this time we're going to have a smooth transition. So what the Mayans meant was that at the end of 2012, which actually corresponds in terms of the Gregorian calendar at the end of 2025, is the ending of the 4th world. The ending of the 4th world and the beginning of the 5th world. For those that are curious as to how many worlds have existed, well, these are called epochs. We had the Hyperborean world. That was the first epoch. That ended about 4 million years ago. And then we had the second world, which was Lemuria, and that ended about 50,000 years ago. And then we had the third world, which was Atlantis, and that ended about 12,000 years ago. And then we had the Egyptian, the ancient Egyptian before modern Egypt. It was back then known as Kemu or Kem, Libya Egyptia. That ended approximately 12,000 years ago. 10,000 years ago. So now we are, and notice that each time, each world lasts shorter and shorter. So now we are ending the 4th world and we're about to enter the 5th world. And that's what the Mayans meant to say. And I believe that they measured everything in terms of Baktins. They call it Baktins, which is like the way the Earth revolves around the sun and the sun revolves around its parent sun, and the way our parent sun, which is Alcyone, which is a solar system that even our sun revolves around the galactic core. So that's how they were able to kind of measure the different cycles.
Brilliant. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my next question from Wesley Gordon. Hi, Ismael. I have heard you say that we are in stage 4 of the military operation to free the world from the Cabal. What are the next stages?
There is no stage 5. I believe from what I was told from Commander Valiant Thor, stage 4 is the final stage. So it normally takes about 6 months to 9 months to complete a stage, and I believe stage 4 was initiated about a month and a half to 2 months ago. So again, everything corresponds to summer of 2025. Where it's like between now and summer of 2025, there's going to be major changes that are going to change everything on the earth for the positive, of course, for the positive.
Brilliant. Thank you. And I'm going to hit you with an easy question.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's asking about your necklace, Ismael.
My necklace. It's called chrysocolla. It's a stone, chrysocolla. Yeah. So it's in the shape of a diamond. No, not a diamond. I'm sorry, a triangle. Almost like
I wasn't sure if it looked like a heart then, but it's not, is it? It's spearhead. That's the word I was really thinking of.
Yeah, it was a gift from my girlfriend. So.
Oh, how lovely. Does it have any properties, or is it just decorative?
It allows me to connect with my heart chakra and my throat chakra better.
Lovely.
So that I can speak the truth.
Lovely. Sandy Rank has asked, please ask Ismael if his Sedona conference will be available online.
It will be, but only for 100 people. And it's a 3-hour event. So if you can't make it in person, it's $100. But again, it's a 3-hour workshop via a Zoom link. And in order to access that, you can go to my website or ourcosmicorigin.com to access the Zoom link. So that's only going to be for 100 people. So it's first come, first serve.
Ismael, a few people have asked as well, how do you get your information?
I connect with Valiant Thor. Valiant Thor is the liaison between the Galactic Alliance, who is, again, a conglomerate of about 52 different solar systems within our local star cluster, where he represents the Venusian Council, and the Earth Alliance White Hats. So I communicate with him, and that's how I'm able to get updates on like what's going on in terms of off-world operations as well, and so on and so forth.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And my next one, where was that? That was it. So this is from Karen, and this is probably, I would say, quite a tough question. Ask Ismael, where does God exactly fit into what you're saying and the angels that many have actually seen and reported and have been caught on camera?
That's a very good question. Well, there is a prime creator source that everything comes from. It is source consciousness. It is beyond gender, yet it also expresses itself through all living things. And it is believed that the prime creator source is the reason why life exists. Now, if they're asking me in terms of Jesus represents the logos. He represents the consciousness of our universe, who incarnated 2,000 years ago, where, the word, the logos, was made flesh. So in that regard, he is our eldest brother. He's, he came here to show us the way. And then in terms of the intergalactic fleets, Michael is at the head of the command in terms of our local universe. And then in terms of the multiverse, Jesus is at the head of the intergalactic command. So Jesus oversees the entire cosmic omniverse when it comes to the forces of light. So he is known as our eldest brother. So it does kind of tie in a little bit with the Bible, but it explains it from a higher perspective.
Lovely, thank you. Does that mean the angels are, how do I describe it? Because
they're different expressions of the one infinite creator. So you have the seraphim, you have the tertiapheme, you have the orapheme. I mean, there's so many divisions of angels. And then technically also, when you think in terms of positive extraterrestrials, well, the positive extraterrestrials are actually also translated in the holy books as the angelics, because, you know, they come from these other realities and they have access to our reality, but yet we don't have access to their reality. So there are different levels of celestial beings. And those that are aligned with the one infinite creator are the ones that are in service to others, as opposed to the Luciferian rebellion, which is expressed through the draconian reptilians and the AI, the negative AI, who are all about service to self.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. Tiffany Scott's asked, hi Ishmael, so glad you're on today. Are there Palladians on 3i Atlas?
Yes, there is a combination of many different non-terrestrials that are aboard, and the main ones are the Lyrans, which are our ancient ancestors. So there are Pleiadians, Andromedans, Arcturians, Aldebarans, the good ones, of course, Altarians. I mean, the list goes on. I think over 200,000 stars nations represented by different star species are on board, and that's why it is a mother craft. But they also have an even bigger craft that is actually in our solar system that is working with them, known as C2025 Swan. And Swan is actually 100 times bigger than 3i Atlas. And then they also have even smaller craft that were actually ejected from 3i Atlas. And that explains why they are all kind of aligned and moving along the trajectory right behind 3i Atlas.
Lovely.
Well, do you believe that heaven is over Antarctica, over the borders, and what is beyond the border?
Well, all right. The thing about Antarctica is that I had a friend by the name of Brad Olson who actually went there a few years ago to kind of see if it's a wall, and he says it's not really a wall. There is a tall thing standing, but it's not a wall where it goes all the way around the Earth. It actually ends at a certain it ends at a certain distance. But he says when people refer to as these other continents that are advanced, like Tartaria and some advanced continents that we don't have access to, he says that those are located through a portal in Antarctica, but it's inside the Earth. That's what he says. He says that those advanced continents are actually located inside the Earth. And this was actually also confirmed by Admiral Byrd when he experienced going through a portal in Antarctica. And he had a wonderful experiences with the inner Earth civilization. So yeah, there are secret continents that exist that are super advanced, already using free energy, that live in cooperation and in balance, but they exist within the Earth. They're not like there is no wall that goes around the Earth. So I asked him, so what does this mean, that the flat Earth theory is not accurate? He goes, no, it's not, because I was there in Antarctica. And what Commander Valiant Thor told me was that the CIA actually created the flat Earth concept in order to debunk the secret space program, because the whole premise of the flat Earth is to let us know that there are no galaxies, that there are no stars, that everything is within this firmament. They call it the fishbowl, when in essence that is inaccurate. You know, the cosmos is so vast. Just within our own galaxy, there are billions of solar systems. And so the whole purpose of creating this idea, this concept of the flat Earth and the dome, was to debunk the breakaway groups and the secret space programs who have established bases all around the Milky Way. And that's what I was told by Commander Valiant Thor. Of course, everyone's entitled to their own opinion and belief. You know, I welcome flat earthers and round earthers, all alike.
So he went through the portal, but he was able to come back.
He was able to come back, yeah, to let us know, because he encountered several types of people. He encountered a group of the Nazis that were not aligned with Hitler, that actually escaped and went into the inner Earth, who are working in tandem with Agartha and the inner Earth dwellers that are benevolent. So he encountered a benevolent group of Nazis that actually defected from from Hitler, and who inherited the advanced technologies. And that's why he was allowed to come back to the surface to, let us know what he discovered. And a lot of this stuff was actually cataloged in his journal, which, of course, the government is not releasing to the public.
Brilliant, thank you. I also like Charlie's definition. It's flound. I do like that. I think that just encompasses a few things that we know about Earth, as we call it.
Bless you.
Sorry, Ismael, were you going to say something then?
Oh, no, I just said bless you to my girlfriend because she sneezed.
And just an update on Charlie. His voice isn't great, so he's not on this evening. So hopefully he's back Saturday, but we shall wait and see. Right. Next question. Sorry, I lost. I was still chuckling over flound in my head then.
Just to let you know, the Earth is an energetic, multi-dimensional structure. So also, depending on the dimension that you're perceiving it, it'll either appear flat or round. As we move into the higher dimensional Earth, 4, 5, and 6, it's actually going to be a multi-dimensional lattice structure. So it's going to be more than just a sphere or a flat surface. It's going to be beyond that. So we can't even perceive what the Earth really looks like in the higher realities, but we will soon.
Christine Phillips has asked, Ismael, will the Dracos be eliminated? I actually know a woman whose last name is Dracos. White skin, black slanted eyes, dark energy.
From what I was told by Commander Valiant Thor, the Dracos have been slowly but surely eliminated in the course of the last decade. And this corresponds to the planetary cleanup, right? As they are cleaning up the underground bases, the dumps and all that stuff, the underground networks for the Cabal. And a lot of the Dracos were actually hiding in some of these spots. Not to mention, some of the Dracos were actually also operating in what is known as pocket realities all throughout our solar system. And just recently, within the last few months, we did receive extra support by another group of guardians known as the Orma, which is like the lion people. And I know some of your viewers are probably like the lion people. Well, there are these things called the lion people. They come from Lyra, where they are human from here down. They have a human body and they have the face of a lion. Powerful, fierce warriors that actually operate from dimensions 10 and 11. And that's how powerful they are. Well, they just came in the last few months to kind of like eliminate the last residue of these pocket realities where the draconian reptilians were still operating from. So as of now, there are no more Draco in our solar system. They have been completely eliminated.
The royal family, are they reptilian or are they vampires or are they both that have integrated?
The Rue family?
The royal, yeah, British.
Oh, the royal family.
British royal family.
Are you talking about
Prince King Charles and yeah.
Oh, he's no king. He's part of a reptilian human hybrid bloodline. In fact, all the Khazarian Jews, the Zionist, Netanyahu, the Rothschilds, they're all genetically related. By the way, they are all descendants of what I call in my book, The Secret Government, descendants of Ham and Nimrod. They come from Babylon. And technically, you could actually trace their initial establishment back to Cain. And Cain was the offspring of Eve and the serpent. And when you translate who the serpent was in the ancient texts, the ancient serpent was known as Enki. So Cain was the first one to initiate the reptilian human hybrid bloodline. And then, of course, the good aliens, right, like the Pleiadians, they created the flood to kind of eliminate the abominations, the reptilian seed, the Nephilim, and then later it was reinstated through Nimrod. Nimrod was the one who reinstated the human reptilian hybrid. So yeah, King Charles is part of that human reptilian hybrid bloodline.
Brilliant. Ismael, is there any tie-in with DNA? Ed's asked, how does the sale of DNA information by 23andMe tie into this? Is there any tie with DNA?
Yeah, that's the way that the deep state is trying to identify the descendants of the Anunnaki. Yeah, one of the greatest secrets that they don't want people to know is that there are two types of Anunnaki in the past, and they both left their lineage behind. So some of the people that are Rh negative blood are not reptilian. They're actually descendants from the positive Anunnaki. So you had two groups of Anunnaki, right? In ancient mythology, they call them the sky gods, and they were warring each other for the control of the earth. Unfortunately, the good Anunnaki lost the battle, and that's why our world fell in darkness to the negative Anunnaki. Well, it turns out that the good Anunnaki actually also left a lineage intact throughout history, and it was carefully preserved. And many people believe that corresponds to the holy blood, holy grail of King David and Jesus, Mary Magdalene. And therefore, today, when people do these 22 or 23 and back, or whatever it is, where they're trying to
23 and me. Yeah, I stupidly did that, Ismael. Go on.
Well, it's designed to actually identify. It's a genetic marker to see who are the descendants of the positive Anunnaki, so that they could kill them off and eliminate them, because they know, according to the prophecies, that a time would come when the descendants of the positive Anunnaki, which are the angelic Anunnaki, as opposed to the fallen angel Anunnaki, that their dormant DNA would be reactivated, and they would demonstrate superhuman abilities. And that's the reason they're trying to offset that prophecy.
Well, they haven't eliminated me, so I must just be...
You must have special protection, Drew.
Go on, Paul.
Sue Sterneman has asked, the last time you were here, you said there were 800 billion other civilizations out there. Could you elaborate, please?
Well, our universe is so vast. Just within the Milky Way, we have billions of solar systems, just within the Milky Way. Then our Milky Way, with other billions of galaxies, make up what is called a local universe. And our universe, with other universes, make up a larger cosmic domain. So in terms of the entire multiverse, there are billions, perhaps even trillions of civilizations, ranging from level 1, type 1, which is when they are beginning in the beginning stages of space travel, beginners. And then there is type 2 stellar, which is like intermediate space travel, have access to an entire galaxy. And then there's galactic, where they have access to multiple galaxies. I mean, it goes on, and then you have type 4, and then you have type 5. Now, I break this further down in our cosmic origin class, where I break down the different levels of advanced civilizations. But we have been type 0 ever since we dropped into lower frequencies from Atlantean times. And it is believed that now the Earth is once again in a position to bounce back up to a type 1, which is interplanetary. And that's the reason why 3i Atlas is here, because they know that the cycle is ending and that our quarantine is ending. And so now the Earth is now again eligible to be part of an interstellar society.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. I've got a two-pronged question here from two different people, Terry Wright and also Christine Phillips. I'm going to blend this one into two. First part, do light seeds all know that they are light seeds? And the second part, it's star seeds, not light seeds. Do star seeds have a particular blood type or physical feature? Thank you.
Well, yes, they do. I don't know much about if there's a blood type difference. I think that the star seeds are incarnated in both Rh negative and Rh positive. However, there are elements that distinguish the star seeds from the Earth Terrans, which are the younger souls. And those elements are that the star seeds are normally the ones that are critical thinkers. They're normally the ones who are very fascinated by the stars and learning about metaphysics, learning about other dimensions. And most of the time, the star seeds feel like they don't belong here. They feel like they miss home. They have a feeling of missing home. And they know that they're here for a reason, but they also know that they miss home. So those are the different characteristics that defines a starseed as opposed to somebody who is not a starseed. For instance, somebody who is not a starseed could care less about learning about metaphysics, other dimensions, or extraterrestrials. They're just very, kind of like in the box. They kind of take face value what society teaches them. So a starseed, on the other hand, is more of a critical thinker. They see beyond the norm and they question everything. because they know that reality is more than what they teach us. And those are the differences.
Wow. Fantastic. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Karen's got a question. Just to clarify, did you say that Jesus had a child with Mary Magdalene?
Well, I wasn't there 2,000 years ago to say, hey, they did have some children, but according to the what is known as the hidden records, it is believed that the bloodline had to continue even after Jesus. So, as you know, Jesus was part of the Davidic bloodline. He comes from the bloodline of King David. So there was, you could say, an attempt to continue the bloodline, but in secret. And that explains why Mary Magdalene had to go to India in order to preserve the child. And then later, of course, she was relocated over to France. And so, the book, the Da Vinci Code, was actually an attempt to disclose that information, even though some people think it's fiction. But when you start investigating the situation and you start reading other accounts, especially when you start getting into the Knights Templars and the Freemasons, they always talk about this bloodline that has been carefully guarded all throughout the centuries. And I am starting to believe that that's the bloodline that gave us Princess Diana, that gave us the JFK, and of course the Trumps. So that's my opinion, though.
Wow, brilliant.
Lincoln.
Thanks.
Lincoln.
Here's a good question. This is from Tiffany. Will the frequencies and/or activated DNA contain healing properties? For example, to help heal people with cancer side effects from the jab, etc.
I believe so. If you are vibrating in the right frequency, if you are doing spiritual work like meditation and prayer, I don't think that the graphene oxide is going to have any effect on you. However, the graphene oxide was originally designed to disconnect you from God, right? It kind of shuts down your pituitary gland, or pineal gland, I'm sorry. But as long as you're meditating, as long as you're keeping your vibration up, and then most importantly, as long as you're detoxing, if you're taking stuff to kind of eliminate the metals in your body, then I believe you'll be okay. You'll be okay. You'll be able to activate. Now, I've been taking a product that actually helps you detox all the metals, parasites, and the radiation in our body. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but it's called Folium. And I always talk about this on my show, Folium. And of course, if people are interested in taking out the graphene oxide that came in through the injections, that is the product that takes all that stuff out like this.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that. This is from Sean. We currently don't use the full potential of our brain. Is this by design, or is there plans to actually unlock the rest of our brain?
Absolutely, it was by design. During the times of Atlanteans, our ancestors were using 6 strands of DNA. And then the Anunnaki messed things up. The negative Anunnaki, through Enki, the master geneticist, he was the one who downgraded our ancestors by mixing us with Homo primitive genetics, Homo erectus genetics from Africa. And that's the reason why we were downgraded to only using 2 strands of DNA with the potential of 12. So our ancestors were using 6, and the Anunnaki knew that once they activated the other 6 strands, because originally we were made with 12 strands by the one infinite creator, the real God, not the Anunnaki who tampered with God's creation, they knew that we would be even more powerful than the Anunnaki. So that's why the negative Anunnaki, foreseeing a future that would one day overthrow their empire in the galaxy, they decided to nip us, what's the word? Yeah, to nip some of our strands, that's the word, and downgrade us to only using 2 helixes. Whereas in essence, we have 12 helixes or DNA strands. So yeah, we were definitely downgraded since the Atlantean times. But nowadays, because of the times that we're living in, and as it corresponds with the activations that are going to be coming in through 3i Atlas, the prophecies have indicated that the time for the reactivation of the other 10 strands is at hand. And so this is what the Cabal has been fearing for millennium.
I've just had a comment here from Bob Crawford. Actually, this is quite interesting. I did a term paper on ancient civilizations in 1970. In my research, I came across a reference to a book of Dzan, D-Z-A-N, which describes two civilizations warring and were sending silver lances riding a beam of light, and they destroyed each other. The book was in a Chinese library and was said to be over 5,000 years old. Would this be Atlantis?
Yes. Sounds like Atlantis, because that's when there was a huge war for the control of the earth between the Guardians, which were associated with the positive Anunnaki, those that were Syrian, Lyrian, Pleiadian, as opposed to the reptilian Draconian Anunnaki, who, again, apparently won that war, but now their time is up. But yeah, it sounds like that was Atlantis.
And Connie's just asked, are the Knights Templar protecting the Ark of the Covenant?
Well, there was a splinter in the Knights Templar Society. Unfortunately, the Jesuits, who worked for the Octagon Group, which is Vanguard and BlackRock, the pinnacle of the infrastructure of the Cabal nowadays, the original Templars that were the guardians of the Republic are not known as the Templars anymore. They're actually known as something else. And they still protect the Ark of the Covenant, the original ones. But the ones that were infiltrated by the Jesuits, unfortunately, are working with the corrupt factions of the Freemasons and, of course, the secret society networks of the Cabal.
You're spot on there.
I'm sorry?
I said you're spot on there in what you said.
Yeah. Thank you.
And just as a random question, Anonymous has asked, how old is Valiant Thor and does he age?
He's about 465 years old. Yeah, and no, he doesn't age. He's a 6th density being. Once we ascend to the 6th density, we have a lifespan of about 30,000 years. 20 to 30,000 years.
Oh, so he's just a young whippersnapper, really.
Yeah. Yeah, when he met with Eisenhower back in 1954, I believe, he was only 398 or something, 397. Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh God, there's so many questions. I'm trying to pick the ones where someone's asked the same one 2 or 3 times.
I'll ask Jim's question while you go through those ones.
Yep.
Jim has said, would you ask Ismael to repeat the 3 angelic realms he mentioned earlier? We woke up with the 9 celestial choir of angels, which the highest realms are seraphim on down to the archangels and then our guardian angels. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. And again, the angelics of the Bible and all the holy books correspond to the positive celestial races. So depending on the dimension that they're coming from the highest level, you have the supernaphim and the seraphim, which operate from eternity. So you have the eternal realms and you have the finite realms. So we're part of the finite realms, obviously. Underneath them, you have different levels of angels, like the Oraphim, Tertiraphim, and then you have the archangels. Now, the archangels are also known as the celestial archetypes. So, for instance, you have Michael, you have Gabriel, you have Raphael, and so on and so forth. Those are archetypes. And then underneath those, you have the different stages or the different levels of lower ranking angels like dominions, thrones, virtues. Now, those are biblical terms. When you start comparing those to the different densities of different types of advanced benevolent races, the virtues are actually the Pleiadians. The thrones are actually the Arcturians, and the powers are actually the Andromedans. So you have, again, these are different terminologies describing the same celestial personality. So yeah, and then of course the guardian angels are part of your oversoul. In other words, every human is born with multiple guardian angels, right? Spirit guides. They are part of your oversoul in a sense that they are ancestors, and they're also different aspects of you that exist in higher dimensions that are working with you in the lower dimension so that to protect you and so that you're on the right path. So those are what the guardian angels are. They're different aspects of you that work in higher dimensions. So they're all part of your oversoul.
I love that. I absolutely do. And cherubs, Christy has asked, where do little cherubs come into it?
Well, the cherubs, again, it's another form and level of celestial personalities. And bear in mind that each celestial personality has a certain function and operation, but yet they're all different expressions of the one infinite creator. So ultimately, this is how interconnected the cosmos is. Every angel, every type of seraphim, oraphim, cherubim is just a different expression of the one infinite creator existing and operating on different levels. That's it.
That's amazing. Over to you, Paul.
Fantastic. Right, okay, we need to talk about light orbs and bits of light. Sharon Cruz has asked, I have a small bar of 4 to 5 lights that keep getting picked up by my security camera. Can you tell me who it is, please? So I think this is in relation to, you know, people say I've seen an orb of light in the air, in the sky. What is that?
That could be multiple things, depending on the situation. Most of the orbs that are being captured by our satellites and government technology are actually plasma beams, balls of light. They are entities that operate in dimensions 10, 11, and 12. And as plasma beams, they always manifest in the 3D as balls of light. However, going back to talking about your guardian angels, sometimes your guardian angels could actually manifest in a form of an orb. We see it all the time. People always tell me, Ismael, when I'm going live on my podcast, there's always these little sparks of light or orbs floating around you. And I just tell my people, well, those are my guardian angels just making themselves known. So it all depends on the situation, you know. But yeah, they are a mixture of plasma beams, and also in certain individual cases, that could be the way that your own guardian angels manifest themselves in physicality.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ismael, for that. Now, I've got another question I wanted to ask you. I don't know if you've already just covered this, though, from Steve. What part of UFO sightings have to do with all this awakening, then? Is this how do I describe it? Is this them slowly revealing themselves to us? Or is this we're just lucky enough to catch them while they're moving around?
Well, it all depends. About 65% of the UFOs that we've been witnessing are actually our own. They're part of the secret space program. I believe that they're positive. These are the positive ones, because there has been a war going on in the underground tunnels. And just to let you guys know, the underground tunnels are spanning across the entire globe. They even go underneath oceans, connecting continents to continents. So this Earth Alliance operation has been taking a while because there's a lot of underground caverns that they have to cleanse. Okay. And so some of these UFOs that we've been seeing are mainly coming from our own alliance, military, Solar Warden. And of course, some of them are non-terrestrials. They are literally positive extraterrestrials that are hovering above our atmosphere because they're just working in collaboration with Solar Warden to make sure that everything's fine. Monitoring our world, in other words.
Brilliant. Trey's asked, are all RH negative people descendants of the Anunnaki?
Yes. If you are RH negative, all that means is that you don't have the what they call, I guess in terms of conventional terms, they call it the rhesus monkey protein, which translates as the Homo erectus gene. So you don't have that. So that means that you have higher cognitive abilities. You know, you don't really use the lower brains. You're mostly abstract. You're a profound thinker, and you have gifts. That's what that means.
Tiffany's asked, do you know specific areas of Earth where ships are hovering and or are stationed to watch or keep guard?
They're all over the Earth. From what I hear, we have huge mothercrafts that are above the U.S. Some of them are in Europe, and we're talking about like 10 miles long across, like huge mothercraft. We also have these things called biospheres that are like living craft, where you have extraterrestrial inhabitants that are living on these crafts, but the craft itself is like a living organism. So yeah, there's tons of them. that are located all around the Earth that are here, and most of them are cloaked. That's why we don't see them.
Brilliant. And I've got another one from Gwen. Please ask Ismael how he thinks all this truth will be accepted by the population. Thank you. And this is another interesting one, because some people are saying that we're going to leave people behind because we're going to ascend to the higher frequency.
Yeah, there's this thing called the bifurcation of timelines, and that really corresponds to what many call within the religious movement as the rapture. So those that are ready to go into the new Earth, dimensions 4, 5, and 6, right? We're returning back to the original Earth before we fell. Are those that are actually good people that are vibrating, people that are awakened, as opposed to the NPCs and the heavily programmed people who just don't want to wake up. Unfortunately, there is a timeline for them, which is what many call the technocratic dystopian timeline. So that bifurcation is going to happen very, very soon. Right now, they're coexisting. Right now, we have the technological timeline, which we're witnessing through the advancements of AI and the rollout of autonomous systems, cybernetics, and so on, right? The biological digital convergence, which is transhumanism. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be taking that path. And then you have the organic timeline, where people are not aligning with cybernetics and they're doing it the natural way. But very soon, those two worlds are going to bifurcate.
Just on the back end of that question as well, Ismael, Trey's asked, Paul, please would you ask Ismael, what happens to our loved ones who have passed on in this reality? Are they reincarnated here again while we're in this existence, or do they go back to God?
Depending on their soul contract. We all kind of establish some sort of a pre-contractual, what's the word I'm looking for? We signed up for. Okay, let me retrace back. We all signed up for this moment. Okay, so depending on your soul contract, which is a pre-contract, that will determine whether you go back to the fifth dimensional Earth, which is where you came from. So, in other words, if they were good people, and they say they went back to the fifth dimensional Earth, when the rest of the planet goes into the fifth dimensional Earth, which corresponds to the organic timeline, they're already going to be there waiting for them. So all those good people that have passed on are actually already in the new Earth. And they don't need a body like us. They have a fifth dimensional avatar, which is far less dense.
Crystallized.
Crystalline, yes. Crystalline genetics, yeah.
And here's an interesting one. Norma's asked, what does the M on the palm of your hands mean?
That means that you are very gifted. You have a lot of psychic abilities that you just need to learn how to activate through meditation and prayer. Mm-hmm. People that have the M in the moon crest they're like extremely powerful. They just don't know it.
Brenda Scott's asked, Ismael, you were reading Stolen Identity. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know what to believe at this point, because some people say that if that is correct, if that is the true JFK Jr., and in that book, he strictly says that the real Trump was actually taken out and that we're seeing a fake Trump right now, right? He was replaced by the cabal. That means that the entire Q operation was a psyops, according to that book. So I don't know where to stand on that. It's kind of iffy. I'm going to have to do further research on that. So I can't really be pro it or against it. I'm just kind of, I still have an open mind about it. But if that were to be correct, that means the entire Q movement is part of a counterintelligence operation. And I would hate for that to be true.
I can't see that being true at all, Ismael. Yeah. There's just too many signs is the only way to describe it.
Exactly.
And my last question. There's still loads of questions going on about the firmament. Do you believe in the firmament, or is it something else? Is it just an energy barrier or along those sort of lines?
It is an energy barrier, by the way. In terms of science, they call it the Van Allen belts, which are there to kind of protect us from the cosmic radiation. But in ancient times, we also had a huge, thick moisture of water that existed right above our stratosphere, that also acted as a protecting shield from cosmic radiation. And after the fall of Atlantis, during the pyramidal wars, which were the wars that happened in ancient Egypt between the dark Anunnaki and the light to control Egypt, they actually imploded the generators that were holding that vast thick water cloud that kind of protected the earth, and they completely obliterated that, and that's what caused the flood, by the way. So it was tons of water falling from the sky. So yeah, that was the ancient firmament. But nowadays we do have the Van Allen belts that also act as a way to protect us from cosmic radiation. But as far as like a glass that is impenetrable, where it's like solid, no, that's all part of the fishbowl concept, which again is part of the flat Earth idea. To me, and based on what I know, is that it was designed to debunk the secret space program.
Lovely.
Ismael, what book did you mention before? Was it your book or another book? Someone's asking for the name.
Yeah, The Secret Government, which is this one right here. Yeah, that book kind of records the entire history of between the Cabal and the Alliance going back to pre-biblical times. Yeah, and my other book, Our Cosmic Origin, restores the galactic history of the Earth, tracing these wars back to Lyra and Orion and how they pretty much inherited those wars and why the last battle is going to take place here.
Brilliant. And I'm going to say this out loud now. Is anyone looking at Drew's cross and how it started emanating light? I'm just throwing that one out there because it's getting brighter. So anyway, everybody, what a note to end the show on. Ismael, thank you so much. I hope I haven't bombarded you with too many questions today. I thought, since they were coming in thick and fast, I thought we'd just hit you with a Q&A today.
That's fine with me. No worries.
So, take care, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya. Thanks, Ismael. I'll be in touch to book the next one with you. Okay, next month or something. Okay, brilliant.
Right. Yeah, and don't forget, I do have an online event on the 22nd of November via my website. And then for those that can make it in person, it's only $80 here in Sedona, at a place called the Cielo Connection. And my girlfriend's actually going to be doing some chakra balancing and clearing as well with her crystals. So it's going to be a great event.
And Drew's muted her microphone, so that's not going to work.
Sorry, I was going to say maybe we can get your girlfriend on board as well with the idea of the 24/7 meditation. We can get you guys to step in only for like 5 minutes, you know, when obviously it's convenient for you. But I'll talk about that with you further off camera.
All right, awesome. And is it okay if I talk about my courses that I teach online?
Yeah, go ahead. Go.
So I have different stages of ascension courses. I have one for beginners where I explain the transition from the 3D to the 4D to the 5D. And then I have an intermediate class where I teach people how to connect to the quantum field so they could start quantum jumping and how to access their multidimensional self. And then in my third class, which is the most advanced, I teach people how to embody the cosmic self, which means how to collapse all the different versions of themselves into the here and the now. And then my groundbreaking classes are Cosmic Origin, where I break down the entire cosmic history going back to the first creation 998 billion years ago, and much more. So all that is available through my website, ourcosmicorigin.com.
Brilliant. That's all in the comments. Thank you, Ismael.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, everyone. Bye now.
Bye for now. Bye. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do is for those of you that want to stay, I'm just going to say a quick prayer for Charlie. Oh, unless obviously someone wants to come on and do it, I can give you, I can make you be able to talk. So going once, going twice, shall I do it, or does someone want to come on and do that? Say a prayer for Charlie. God, I can't get my words out. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm the light. Oh, stop it. All right, guys. I wrote this. Listen, you know I speak from my heart and I'm open and honest. I don't know a single prayer off heart. So of, I'm going to be reading, obviously, the prayer, okay? So here we go. Heavenly Father, we come together in one heart and one spirit, lifting up Charlie Ward before you tonight. Lord Jesus, you are our Saviour, our healer, our deliverer, and we thank you for the power of your name. Right now, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we speak life, light and healing over Charlie. We declare that every spell, curse, hex or dark word spoken against him is broken, destroyed by the power of the blood of Jesus. Let every chain of darkness fall away and let your holy fire surround and protect him. Father, we ask you that your healing power touch every cell in his body. Let every system, every organ, every part of his being come into divine alignment with your perfect will. We ask that you renew his strength, restore his health, and fill him with peace that passes understanding. Lord, we thank you that no weapon formed against him shall prosper. We thank you that your angels encamp around him, that your spirit fills him, and that your presence covers him glory. We stand in unity, declaring victory, healing, and freedom in Jesus' mighty name, and we all say together, Amen. There you go. God, that made me sweat. Oh, right. So now you can play that over again and you can get that energy out there to him, radiate the love, the healing, the thoughts, the prayers, the will, and what have you. Amen. Brilliant. Yeah. See? In Jesus' name. If you want the written version, that's no problem. Here we go. Group prayer for Charlie Ward. And I will put that in the document group for you guys. All right, guys. Anyway, I love you and leave you. I've got to work on this to get it out for the others. And yeah, if you need anything, let me know. All right, guys. Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Hi guys, this is a personal message from me. If you see a video on Facebook, you are following an imposter. I am not on Facebook. I have not been on Facebook since June 2020 when they removed me. Please redirect to watch all of my videos at charlieward.com. All official social media links are on my website. We urge you to stop following fake channels. I will never message you in a video. I will never ask you for money. I will never message you privately. I will never contact you directly. I will never ask you to email any information directly. I will never sell you cryptocurrency or any currency or ask you to open a quantum financial system wallet. Please do not get caught by these scammers who are out there. I do not endorse other truthers so that an imposter can say that I've said this. I will not ask you directly or indirectly to open a quantum wallet, so please be careful. If you want to check out the validity of anything, contact us directly via our website at charlieward.com. There's a contact page there. We have a customer care team there to help you.
The financial system is under attack. The cracks are beginning to show as banks are being bailed out and hard-working people yet again are left to pick up the pieces. This is unacceptable. We were told that after the 2008 financial crash that measures were put in place so that this could not happen again. Personally, I don't want to risk my family's financial future to find out if that's true or not. Are you prepared? Do you have a plan? Can you weather the storm with confidence? Don't be at the back of the line. Act now. Visit goldbusters.co.uk and protect your family today.